Welcome back to us with the show Your Real Estate Today. We're glad you're with us. I'm Paul Jameson, your host on this Saturday. We're thankful that you are willing to listen to what we have to say about real estate. It's our passion. We enjoy it. We're thankful that you're out there. I'm Paul Jameson, your host with the Jameson family of companies, here with my good friend Preston Salmon with Home Inspection Carolina. Now, Preston, we're talking about getting a home inspection, whether your house is under contract or whether you're buying one or you're getting ready to put your house on the market. All good reasons to get a home inspection.
Absolutely.
So just so we make sure we do this a couple of times, if people want to reach your company and schedule an inspection, who do they call and how do they call?
Okay, they call 704-542-6575, and we got a couple of different ladies there, Allison, Lori, my wife, the boss, Meg, my boss, not anybody else's boss, but my boss, all be willing to take your call. And also you can go on homeinspectioncarolina.com and you can schedule there online. And also if you go up to, it says Realtor's Corner, but this is available for everybody. You can get this checklist that we're talking about today, which is Seller's Inspection Checklist, which
value add.
There you go. There you
Look
go.
at you.
Yeah, you can print it out, and I promise that if you go through it. In fact, this whole thing came about. I tell a story. My daughter, a couple of years ago, she was studying for science tests, and I was helping her, with the flashcards and all that stuff. And she says, "Daddy, isn't a home inspection kind of like a test for the house?" And I said, "Yeah, it is." She said, "Well, do the sellers know what to study?" I said, "No, but they should." So we came up with a seller's inspection checklist. So that's where this thing came about, to go through before preparing for the inspection.
Yeah, you know what's fun is Preston has been in the business a long time, and also his daughters have grown up in the business and are very much a part of his brand and what he does. So for many years we received their artwork in different calendars and in different things, and we kind of miss that.
I know. Now it's like they used to go around and market with me. I'd go to offices and they would take candy and all that stuff. But kindergarten started, and you just can't keep good help anymore.
The child labor laws.
Yeah. They're so good for marketing and really low crawl space. Obviously, I'm kidding.
Oh, Preston, too much. Well, if you're getting ready for that inspection, you talked about some very general things. Is there an area of the house, Preston, where you find either on the outside, the inside, the garage, the kitchen, where you find some of the most challenging areas for your inspectors to really do a good job of assessment that folks can get ready for? I would be guessing one of them's got to be under the kitchen sink.
Oh, yeah. Well, definitely check under the kitchen sink. What you want to do is fill the basins up with water and then pull the plug. So what happens is the drain goes all the way back up the pipe, so that it puts a little pressure on it to see if you have any leaks or anything like that. Also check, not too many people do this, but look underneath your sink and look the other way and look around the edges of the counter and make sure they haven't got any rot or anything. See, the big thing with the kitchen sink is you got water.
Most of the water.
And water is, the most, over time, you can't beat water. I mean, water is going to be destructive. And check, move all your cleaning supplies, make sure the counter and, underneath is all.
You won't do that for me?
Well, some will, some won't.
It's not fair to ask, honestly.
But, like we went back to the beginning, remember, the more than likely the buyer's going to come during the inspection, and they're going to be walking around. So, I hate to see somebody clean their house up for the showing. It looks so great. They got the cookies. And, the inspectors like those cookies too, by the way. But, but then when the inspector comes, it's just back to normal, dishes in the sink, cleaning supplies, and then they forget that the buyer's coming with them. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. An inspector, when they see a neat house and well-organized house, it immediately, they're going to provide an unbiased inspection, but you immediately think when the house is clean, it's neat, taken care of, this is an organized person.
Like the broken window theory, right?
Exactly, because you were giving an example earlier of that house that had a sheet over the tub, and you pulled up the sheet, the tub's cracked. So immediately, being a detective, everybody's going to think, oh my gosh, what else is there? So when you see a house that's just stuff everywhere, you're immediately thinking, there's no telling how much stuff is wrong with this house. versus when everything's neat, organized. You know, you're thinking this person was on top of it. Probably if they ever had a problem, they probably fixed it.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to check it out fully, but you get that sense, and the buyer gets that sense too, which is what you want.
Yeah. You know, you did an inspection for me yesterday, and we're going over today to walk through it. It was on a condo.
Okay.
People go, what do you do an inspection on a condo for? Well, there's good reason to do an inspection on a condo, because you're still responsible for what's inside those walls.
Yeah, yeah, and in a lot of cases, the HVAC as well, and the water heater.
That's it. Yes, and the windows in this case.
And those can be big ticket items. I mean, really big ticket items. So,
Right.
You know, and there's been some condos. I mean, we alert them to some things on the outside, although that's you know, covered usually by. But you know, you need to know the full extent of what you're doing. But absolutely, I would inspect a condo.
Yeah,
for sure.
we did, and there were 3 items on the report, and again, it shows the legitimacy. There were a lot of other little things, but there were 3 legitimate items on that report.
Yeah.
Money well spent.
Oh yeah. Well, and you know, another thing I always check with condos, if there's somebody living above you, you know, you got to make sure, look for leaks or any time, you know, something's overflowed up there or leaked up there, because that can
around
affect
the
your
washing
space.
machine area for sure.
Absolutely. And the water heater.
Yeah, water heater's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked a little bit about the kitchen sink. What about under the house? Most of us don't really want to go there, to be honest with you.
Where the spiders and the snakes are.
And those jumpy things.
I know that somebody was shooting this thing around the internet somewhere in Texas. They found this house with all these rattlesnakes underneath of it, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, no kidding.
We don't have too many rattlesnakes, you know, but and I have seen a few snakes, but not as many as you would think. But again, you know, Paul, water is the main thing that causes problems. And you know, we have had a ton of rain this past winter, so you want to make sure that outside the house everything planes away. Your downspouts, you have splash blocks, everything goes away from the house.
And the splash blocks are not backwards.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, sometimes builders will turn them around to try to get the grass growing, you know, because you know, the new grass, but then they forget to, and then they become breeding grounds for mosquitoes and all kinds of stuff. But if you have water puddling around the foundation of your house, so much bad stuff can happen. The water can go underneath the crawl space, which is conducive for termites, conducive for the M word that rhymes with sold, that we don't want to say. It's a dirty word.
I like the word sold, though.
Yeah, we don't like the M word version of sold.
That's right.
But yeah, water, actually, if you look at damages to houses on every study, I mean, water is always number 1.
Yeah, but you know, Preston, one thing we haven't said, and it's high time we do. We've talked about your services being there for a transaction. But I know it was probably 6 or 7 years ago, I had you come even though I wasn't planning on selling my house.
Right. Just kind of a maintenance thing, because most times people, like you just said earlier, people don't like to go under their house. I don't like. If I wasn't paid to go under there, I probably wouldn't go under there. But you know, if I actually had this meeting with my guys, I said, you know, of all the problems we find are big thick. I don't know the exact percentage, but probably around 70% are crawl space or show up in the crawl space.
That's the issues we have with the transactions.
Yeah, so it's a crucial part to go into, and I would highly recommend you get somebody to go under there who knows what they're doing at least once a year to see if anything's leaking, like a shower pan or something, because if you catch it early, it's a fixable problem.
Right.
But a couple of years later, I mean, you could be 10, 20. I mean, you know, I've
multiplied.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I've seen, you know, in termites, wood rot, that stuff doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen over a period of years where nobody saw it and corrected it on the front. You know,
Right.
Stitching time saves 9.
Yeah, that too. Where did that come from?
I don't know. It's just my grandma used to say it, but it's true.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, this checklist is really good because it gives somebody a roadmap to be ready.
Absolutely.
So,
can I add one more in there, Paul?
Absolutely.
Number 11 on here is a real one that we catch on a lot of houses, and all the listeners out there, I recommend you go look under your deck this afternoon. If you're riding around, go under your deck and remove any wood you have. You know, firewood. Sometimes you'll see an old pallet or something, because if you have that wood laying on the ground, it's going to attract termites. And if you get termites in wood underneath your deck, the state considers that part of the crawl space, and that would trigger a full termite treatment, which is going to be north of $750, probably in the thousands. So
Exactly.
get
That's
that
a
wood
great-
out
that's
from
an
under
easy one.
Yeah, get the wood out
That's
from under
an
the
easy
deck
one.
and the
Come on,
deck.
Bessie, you can do that one. Carrie, do that one for me, will you? All right, well, we've got a lot more to go to show you real estate today. Stay with us on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.